In today's video, I am going to be talking to you about the easiest and best offenses to use with younger basketball players. And when it comes down to it, what you really want is the ability to have a simple offense that you can teach to pretty much any age, but at the same time, have an offense that can work both against a man-to-man as well as a zone defense, especially up here in Canada, because a lot of the rep leagues and teams or whatever are starting to run zones from like grade 4 and up. So when it comes down to it, running an offense that can run both against a man and a zone at the same time is probably the most beneficial, especially if it's easy to teach. When it comes down to this offense I'm about to show you, there's two. First one is 5 out. You can make sure to go check out my complete guide to the 5 out offense that is down in the description below. I'm also going to show you a 4 out offense. And if you would like the idea of me writing on top of this app, it's called the Playbook. It is down in the description as well too, and you can get 10% off. But basically what we want to do, if we are running, for example, a 4 out offense, that means that there's 4 players outside of the 3-point line and 1 player in the high or low post. I prefer the player in the high post with younger players, mainly because it's able to beat both man and zone defenses. The easiest play that you can run, at least in my opinion, in the 4 out is a pass into the high post and then both wings cut. This player here has to pivot so that he is looking at the rim. That way he's able to see the entire court from these guys on the corners, but also these guys who are cutting. When these players are cutting to the rim, players 2 and 3 are going to lift, and the first options are going to be with player 5 passing either to player 1 or to player 4. If they get that pass, they need to go in for that basket. They need to be aggressive and score. And if they don't score, they'll miss, maybe get a foul, something. Player 2 and 3 lift. 1 and 4 will clear out if they had no options. Now player 5 can pass to player 2 or to player 3. If he passes, let's say, to player 4, he can either set that screen for player 4, or if it's against a man, he could also set the screen on player 3's man. If he sets the screen on player 3's man, player 3 cuts. Player 2 needs to look for player 3 cutting. After that, we're going to have player 5 lift. 1 lift, 3 clear out. We are now in 5 out. Now this works really well against a man. You can see why right here. So after they pass that ball, player 1 and 2 generally turn their direction and look at player 5 to see what he's doing. When that happens, if it happens to one or both of these players, then they may be open for that layup. If that doesn't happen, and let's say players 4 and 3 come down to help and cut off those cuts, when players 3 and 4 are lifting and we kick that ball out, they could be wide open for the 3-point shot. Obviously, if your team can shoot threes, my 11U team can shoot threes, so I'm pretty happy with that. They can shoot threes all game long if they want. Now, if you're going up against the 2-3 zone that isn't stagnated because, of course, you're playing with kids, you get that pass into player 5. You have player 1 and 2 cut to the basket. If player 5 lifts because he has to cover that top, then you could pass to player 1. This could be a layup. This could collapse. He can kick it out for a 3. There's options. With players 1 and 2 cutting, this also leaves the wings wide open. When these guys clear out, let's say we pass the ball out. Well, now we set that screen for player 4 on player 2. Player 4 uses that screen, draws this guy, kicks the ball out. Player 3 has to shadow. Extra pass, 3, drive, something. Player 5 rolls off. This collapses the defense. We can kick it out here. We can kick it to here. There's options. And this is obviously if the 2-3 zone isn't stagnated. And what I mean by that is most zone defenses at the youth level, the kids just generally say, this is my zone. I get to stand right here. And I don't have to move because I don't have the ball in my spot. And if that's the case, in which case you just dribble through them and it's just a fun little easy time to score. So if you actually play against a zone that actually moves at that level, then this is a play that you can run. If they just stand there and say, this is my zone, I don't move until there's somebody in my zone, in which case then you can just drive right through them and like weave through them. You can have fun and it's like a 100-point game for your team. Now, you can go to the 5-out offense. Again, the link is down below for the full complete guide, but something simple that works both against a man-to-man and a zone is a pass and cut. And this works extremely well for everybody because, of course, you can make that pass, he can score, these guys collapse, kick, you can get that 3. There's so many different options. If he's not open, in which case then 3 lifts, 5 lifts, 1 fills out. Very simple. I've ran this play probably 60 trillion times on this channel, so I'm not going to go into any kind of depth. However, if we run this against a zone, then it kind of changes just slightly. So against a 2-3 zone, these guys are going to be closing the top because nobody ever wants the ball to go up middle. Pass, cut, this guy's going to be shifting over. You can make that pass in to player 1. This collapses that defense here. He could have scored. If not, then this can collapse here. He can kick the ball out. He can take a couple of dribbles towards the middle. This is already collapsed. You've got options out here. There's so many different options just by one simple pass and cut. Let's say he wasn't open. You've got player 5 popping, player 1 filling out. You've now essentially slightly collapsed the defense. Again, pass, that makes player 4 cover here. You have player 4 blue cutting. Now he can attack the middle of the paint. You always want to have a paint touch. Player 4 could cut back door if he could read that properly. If not, you can kick this ball out to the corner or the wing. There's so many different options. The whole idea here is just to get paint touches to collapse the defense. And then when they collapse the defense, you can attack and score easier and easily. These are 2 simple offenses that you can run against anything at the youth level, and it works extremely well. I hope that this video helps you. If it has, hit that like button, subscribe. Make sure to go check out my complete guide to the 5-out offense that is down in the description below. And I'll see you guys again in my next video. Also, if you like this app, the link is down there as well.